what's good, everybody? Just wanted to make sure that I had everybody on for the call. Hopefully everybody is having an amazing week so far. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I appreciate the people who are currently on with me right now for being on. So hopefully we get some more people so that way we can educate, try to affect people in a positive way every single day. So good morning, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a great week so far. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm on these charts to really educate and really help you guys understand what's needed to become consistently profitable. Make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, you guys definitely can. All right, got my Red Bull. I got you guys. We're good. All right, let's get it. So real quick, let me see what you guys have. All good. How you, brother? Happy New Year. All the best. Hey, what's good, bro? I appreciate that, Chris. Everything's good. Happy New Year to you and your family as well. Hopefully for everybody as well. Definitely good. Blessed on my end. Just a lot of work so I can make sure that everybody's good. You know what I mean? But my New Year's resolution is to create six-figure traders through my platform, and obviously create educated and profitable traders with this YouTube, right? I want to be able to really help somebody, anybody, understand how to become profitable. So hopefully within this year, I'll be able to do that for you guys. But I definitely appreciate you guys. Real quick, I am taking a look at the chat, obviously. So if you guys have any questions, always feel free to let me know. If you guys have any markets as well that you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance, right? I know I'm just on a generic pair right now. That's just because we're just starting the live. But what markets do you guys want to take a look at? What would you like me to mark up? What would you like me to educate you on? The biggest thing for me is, again, to really educate and help you guys understand what's needed, right? I mean, I know no trader is perfect. You're going to take losses, but at the same time, at least I can tell you what to do so you can minimize those losses and then actually be making money in the Forex markets. So if there is any specific markets you guys would like for me to take a look at, I definitely will. I'll mark it up. I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you what I think is going to happen with that, excuse me, with that chart. And I'll also give you like my full breakdown where you'll be able to replicate that on your own. You'll be able to actually say, well, you know what, I know how to mark up a chart now, and be able to find your own individual trade. So I always want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance. So if there is anything that you personally would like to take a look at, I'll definitely go ahead and do that for you. Gold, my G. What's good, Alex? All right, you said gold. I'll take a look at gold really quick. Got you. So let's head on over to gold. So real quick, even before we look at anything, these markets are literally stuck. So these markets right now, for some reason, are extreme. Like, there's no volatility at all. And I'm looking here. I don't see any news for today. There really wasn't any news yesterday. I mean, there was yesterday for the US dollar, but that didn't even do anything. And even CPI for the Aussie really didn't do much either. So the volatility within the market right now is not favorable. Tomorrow we have CPI, wrong. And then Thursday, yeah, oh no, Friday. Yeah, we don't got nothing up until Friday at 10 a.m., which is, I mean, you're not really doing anything on a Friday anyway. So with these markets being kind of like, I wouldn't say stuck, but they're not offering the greatest amount of volume and volatility for us to really dictate a lot. But we still can identify what could potentially happen next. So let me go ahead, jump up to a higher time frame. So the one thing I want everybody to understand, if this is your first time on a call with me, if you've never, had a session alongside myself, that's perfect. I want you to understand in a very quick manner how easy, I wouldn't say easy, but how I would say simple it is the way that myself and students trade. Right, we're going to identify very simple aspects in the market, and one of the main things we're going to identify is price. It's support and resistance. Just put it like that. It's not smart money concepts. It's not support and supply and demand. It's literally just we're identifying support and resistance right now, and I'm doing this on a higher time frame. The reason why I'm doing this on a higher time frame is because we have gold right now in a strong bullish move from these lows to these highs, right? We know that that's a buy. And again, being on the daily time frame, that's going to tell you a lot. Now that we can see that this market is a bullish move, we need to understand a few things. Is it still going to buy, or is it showing us that, or are we at an area where, excuse me, the market could rally to the downside? So I'm going to take this line right here, and I'm going to put it right where the market price is now. The reason why I'm putting it at market price where it is now is because this, if we look left to get right, is a level of structure, right? So we can see this was a level of resistance before, and we drag it out, we can see that we're within that area. The reason why I'm putting the line there, not all the way up here, is because this candle currently, I mean, it still has, you know, almost 9 hours left to close to really show us if it is rejecting this area. But the one thing I am identifying is this candle, right? This candle is showing us a level of rejection so far. Now, the reason why this is important is because you always want to identify, again, price. We are at a level of price. Let me actually go ahead and just put this down here. I'm cheating a little bit because we know where the market is, but I just don't like my zones that big. I'll end up deleting the zone in a second when I scale down to smaller time frames, but I'm just drawing it out so that way you guys can identify that right now we are in fact in a level of price. With that level of price being relevant, we now need to identify the actions, right? Because this is called price action trading. So you want to make sure you're identifying all the actions within a level of price. So one of the actions I can see right now is on the daily time frame, we're getting some form of rejection. The rejection coming from this initial candle. And I want you guys to understand one thing. We're not going to make this complicated. We're just going to say one thing. We're going to say wicks equal rejection. So me understanding that wicks equal a form of rejection is going to tell me, okay, well, I'm at a level of resistance, price, and one of the actions that I should be seeing here if it wants to continue to be bullish is maybe a bullish engulfing candle or any bullish variance, right? Any type of bullish indication should be happening, but we're not. And it's happening at a level of resistance. What we are seeing, the actions that are, the clues that are being left behind for us right now are that buyers are no longer welcome and sellers are starting to come in. So I'm going to delete everything and we're now going to scale down to a smaller time frame, being the 4 hour. Now on the 4 hour, and we still have about almost an hour left on this candle to close, but it's starting to look a little, I mean, even on the smaller time frame, you probably see it better on the 1 hour, but we're starting to see something, right? For one, again, candles. I really like this candle here, or actually all three of these for the most part, because this can end up, and we're going to type this out really quick too. Can this be a evening star candle pattern? Because if it can, that'll tell us that there's a bearish reversal candlestick pattern, and this will end up being, or hopefully be, a bearish engulfing. If we get that being a bearish engulfing, that's just going to double the factor of, okay, well, buyers are no longer welcome and sellers are definitely coming in. If I look even further, now scaling down to a smaller time frame being the 1 hour, this also could look like it being a head and shoulders pattern. Where is my drawing tool? I never remember where any of these tools are. Doesn't matter. I'll just do it like this. This being the right shoulder, or the left shoulder rather, this being the head of the pattern. And if we can actually have it come back down to here, we can start looking at a potential push to the downside. So in my honest opinion, I do think that we'll have gold end up being a potential reversal around this area because, again, we're at such a strong level of daily resistance, daily, weekly, no matter what time frame we look at it, we're going to know that we're at a form of structure. That doesn't look that great on that time frame. Let me do this. Let me go into the weekly. Actually doesn't show any structure or resistance from it just yet, but on the daily we're starting to get that. All right, we're getting that early indication that there could be a reversal. So me seeing again on the smaller time frames, based off of again being at a level of strong structure, being that the fact that the market is I mean, look at this. This is stuck. There's nothing there. The buyers are trying so hard to bring this to the upside that they failed at this last attempt up here, that we can actually get some type of reversal pattern. So I'm going to mark it up like this in a sense of a potential entry. This being the neckline of our pattern. Very important that you guys understand that this is the neckline. Not only is that the neckline, that's just simply a form of structure, right? We're going to be able to say that if this is broken, if this structure is broken, we now have an evidence idea that the market is no longer bullish because it's creating new lower lows and new lower highs. And then we could find the market to drop from there, right? But obviously we can't say that as of yet because there's no confirmations for that. The one thing I will think is, actually we'll just draw this here too. In the event that my bullish analysis is wrong, no, it's already broken lower, so never mind. I was going to say that this could be retesting the zone here, but that's already broken right through. And you can see not only did it break through, it kind of already tested that zone on the way up. So we're not going to identify that. So I do think that with gold, we'll identify this. Market will come right back down, reach this level of structure. We'll put this line here because that is where I would at least like the market to come back up to before I place a sell. Right? Why wouldn't I sell it right now? Because there is no sell confirmations. There's no sell signal that the market is leaving behind, right? The market has to say, well, okay, I've done this and now I'm going to do this. The market's not telling us that right now. If anything, it's telling us that it could potentially retest off this zone and be bullish, but I don't really think that's the case. I think that if anything, you should look for the market to reach this level of structure, being the neckline, to then form the right shoulder. Once we form, or if rather, we form the right shoulder of this pattern, let me do this. I'm gonna just type this out so that way you guys get it. If right shoulder is made, look to sell from this range. Wow, I can't type, there we go. From this range. Because I mean, I've said it before, I've said it a lot of times. I'm not too sure if you guys were on the call for it, but I'll say it again. So if I sound repetitive, I apologize. Anytime that you have a head and shoulders pattern, you're not trading after the break of the neckline. If you have a head and shoulders pattern, and this is how important these patterns are, that they have their own tool here on TradingView. Oh, I messed that up, my bad. So let's say you have a head and shoulders pattern, right? You don't want to trade after it breaks a neckline down here. When it comes back and reaches that left shoulder price over here, that's where you want to enter, right? You want to make sure that you're entering based off this left shoulder price. And the reason being is because when you have a head and shoulders pattern, the head of the pattern is a false breakout. It didn't intend to initially break above that level of structure. So what it'll end up doing is you'll get that lower high and lower low, right? The market will start saying, well, I don't have the volatility to keep pushing up any higher, so I'm going to start selling. Where is it going to sell from? It's going to start selling from this left shoulder price. This is the real resistance right here, not only up here. So every time you have that, anytime you have a head and shoulders pattern, whether it's an inverted or regular pattern, you're always going to make sure that you trade off of that left shoulder price. So that is exactly what I would expect for you guys to do with gold. If it reaches these lows, you allow the market to actually show some respect from here. And then if it does come back up here, then you have your entry. So it'll look exactly like this. And that's it for gold. So what other markets do you guys want to take a look at? What else can I help you with, if anything? I'll take a look at the comments real quick in a second. So this is what my trade would look like. And we're not doing this right now. This is not an entry. This is not something you enter at this moment. This is just a visual of what could happen. And if it does, if our analysis is correct, if we predicted it the way that we said it, I'll then go ahead and enter my trade in the future when it's time. But we're not entering this right now. But yeah, hopefully that helps, Alex. Hopefully that helps everybody. If you guys have any questions, if you're confused on what I just did, if you need me to go back and kind of reiterate something that you quite don't understand, feel free to let me know. If there's any other markets that you would like to take a look at as well, I'll go ahead and take a look at that. Just type it down, and I'll make sure that I look at it for you and go from there. Yep, no problem. I appreciate you, Alex. Somebody said, GJ, what's good, L? What's good? All right, so Gbpjpy, which is, I'm so mad at. Gbpjpy. So This really ain't doing too much, right? I expected, and this is the same markup that I had, if I'm correct, from last week on Friday or Thursday. I haven't really touched this market at all as far as the analysis is concerned. But I mean, this is my current markup on it. As you can see here, I just have a very simple idea. Actually, I'll go into the higher time frame. So you see, look, this is how much I have not messed with this market, because I want to make sure that, for one, I'm always keeping things very relevant to you guys, and also I don't want to make it seem like I'm just copy and pasting this from somewhere. I want to make sure I do it with you guys live, because I see that shit a lot, and it's just I don't know why people try to take other people's markups and try to explain it. It's really weird to me. And somebody said, EU, I got you, Braxton. I'm mad at it too, just moving sideways. The whole market is, and I'm really mad because yesterday, and just out of transparency, I had a great day for trading, and the next thing you know, these markets were just like, what are we doing? And then we took a loss. So it's like, at this point, I don't know if I even want any of us to be trading during this week, because look at this. Like, again, just like you said, it's sideways. The market right now is not giving us much. And that's what I was saying in the beginning of the session too. Like, the market really isn't giving us a lot of volatility for us to really make some solid moves. So, well, in some cases it is, but not in all cases. Especially like this, because this is my favorite pair, GJ. This market is kind of like, I would say, volatile for the most part, but as of right now, not so much. So I'm gonna delete everything, and we're just gonna go over this in total. So again, being on the daily time frame, I want to always understand the overall market. I don't want to just look at, the 5, the 15 minute and just go off of that. I want to make sure that I understand everything. Give me 1 second. My bad. I had to drink that Red Bull. It's crazy. That's why I respect teachers even more now, because they teach so much, and I didn't realize how thirsty you get from speaking so much. So, my bad. I had to drink some Red Bull. All right, so taking a look at GJ again, understanding the higher time frames, really knowing the overall market. I want to make sure, I hate these little pop-ups. I want to make sure that I can see the true trend. What is this market actually doing? Because there are times where I know right now we're in a seller's market. Let me do this real quick. This is selling overall from these, well, even higher from these highs, but I'm just looking at this general impulse. You can see that this is very much in a bearish market. But even being in a bearish market, you can still identify potential buys and even reversals. This is a PRZ. This area right here is considered a PRZ. Now, what is a PRZ? This is considered a potential reversal zone. So me understanding that this is a potential reversal zone, or simply put, support, right? Everything with trading could be very easy, or we can make it very complicated. This potential reversal zone, this PRZ, is just a fancy way of saying a level of support. But I just kind of want to throw some new things at you guys so that way you guys understand and learn even more. Buy or sell now? I don't know. So me looking at this right now, I'm at a level of strong structure. So me seeing that I'm at a level of support, we can see the rejection that came from it. We can go ahead and see that here. So me seeing that this rejection, this candle, not just the candle, but the overall market. So we could cheat now. We can see how the market developed at this range. We can see a bearish or a bullish rejective candle. We can see a bullish engulfing candle, and we can now start to see a few patterns forming within this market. It's just taken a damn long time. What is something that, I mean, this pattern, I feel like we're always going to be speaking about this pattern no matter what session we're on. But what's there? We just spoke about it. See what I mean? Left shoulder price. That's an inverted head and shoulders pattern. This being the neckline here. Even though it kind of broke up over here to the upside, but I'll keep it just like this. Now, if you're wondering why I'm putting my structure here and not making my structure this big to kind of like put that in the mix, one, I don't like my zones that big, and two, I'm very how can you say, disciplined in the understanding that this is one break and it came right back down. So I would still consider that a respective price in a sense. But there's also 1, 2, now 3 levels or attempts at this point, and it hasn't been broken instead of one factor. Like, I'm going to take my 3 to 1 over anything, right? I want to make sure that I'm identifying the most relevant level of structure, not just one random level of structure up there. So for me right now, I do think that since we're at a level of strong support, the market on the smaller time frame, being on the 4-hour, is kind of giving us that head and shoulders pattern, right? Showing us that the market is in fact looking at a potential reversal. Yep, there you go, L. You said it. I didn't even look at the comment, but definitely you see it already. Inverted head and shoulders pattern. So I need to see a break above that point. Let me go ahead and delete this so that way you guys know exactly which point I'm referencing to. So break above this point equals strong buys. So a break above this point equals strong buys. Now, when we scale down to a smaller time frame, there's really not much you could do with this. And unfortunately, it's like that for a lot of markets right now, which is weird because after the holidays, that week after, so after NFP, when the volatility should have been kind of like driving into the market, there's nothing going on. Like, the market should have been very volatile for the most part, but not so much. But right now, I would say that we need a break above that resistance, and we're going to draw this little level of support here, because this little level of support is important as well. This is still considered market structure. My zone, the structure looks like this, but I don't want my zone that big because it just looks really weird. I'm just showing you that as an idea. I understand that this over here, down here, was a level of resistance down here, and it broke to the upside, and then we're starting to form this level of newfound support. But I'm going to cheat a little bit again because we know where the market really is respecting, which is here. So I want my charts to look as clean as possible, so when it's time for me to enter, I know exactly what I'm doing. My charts aren't cluttered. I'm not trying to identify everything. I really want to see what the market is giving me. So this level of structure is going to be considered a few things. Market structure. Market structure, because if that is the level that is broken, let's say this is it is a support zone. So this being the support zone, if that's broken, let's say the market does this, right? If it breaks to the downside, then that's showing us that buyers are no longer welcome, and this resistance to the upside is really being held. Because you never want in a bullish market, or in a trending market rather, if you're creating higher highs and higher lows, this being a high point and this being a higher high right here. So you can see this is a high point, and then it broke to the upside, creating a new high. We should, in a bullish market, be looking for a newer high. We don't have that. What we do have actually is that double top at this level of structure. Now, if we can't break above this level of structure and we come back down here and then it breaks, we're only going to see this, right? Lower lows and lower highs being created. So we need to take notice of this initial structure. But in my honest opinion, and I'm only speaking on two ends, right? I want you guys to understand both spectrums, because everything we look at right now doesn't necessarily mean that what I'm saying is going to exactly happen that way. Absolutely not. But I always want to make sure that I'm looking at both sides of the story for a market, right? I know that if this level of resistance is respected, this structure down here needs to be taken notice, because, again, if that's broken, no longer will I identify the buys. It's going to start looking like sells to me, because now I understand what the market, like the clues that the market is leaving behind. But again, in my honest opinion, with everything that we have, I feel that, let me actually make this like this, so that way, because that looks crazy. And then I'll draw something up real quick as well for you guys. So I do think with the overall market, since we're at a level of strong support, we're creating this inverted head and shoulders pattern. I think right now what it's doing is building the momentum to break above, because you're never going to get a weak break of a level of structure. It has to be something strong and significant. It's never just going to be it's never going to just be something, like a weak ass candle that just breaks above. As you see here, it hasn't broken above these highs because there hasn't been enough volatility. But once we do, let's say the market is in fact ready, you're going to see a strong push to the upside or downside, either way. But right now we don't have that. So what I would say is this market is ranging market. We'll do it like this. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. If we're in this ranging market, the best thing you can do, I would suggest in any ranging market, not just here, but any, you sell from the highs, you buy from the lows, you sell from the highs, buy from the lows. And let's say you buy from this low and the market breaks above before you can take profit, you hold your trade. You don't even get out of it. You allow that market to continue as high as it wants to. And then you can do this. Let's say the market comes right back down. You can re-enter off this point and then continue to buy. So that's my honest opinion with Gbpjpy. So let me see real quick. EU. Somebody said Euro USD. All right. Excuse me. So yeah, hopefully that helps with GJ, but I do think that this overall idea will be very much bullish. Again, based off of that higher time frame analysis rather, not just confirmation, but everything. We're at a level of strong structure. We can see on the smaller time frames, being on the 4 hour and 1 hour, we're getting that inverted head and shoulders pattern at that level of structure. Again, price action. We're identifying the most relevant level of price and the actions that proceed within them. So if I can see that a head and shoulders pattern, or inverted head and shoulders pattern rather, is happening at a level of strong support, that's going to tell me that the market is probably going to start looking for a reversal at this area. So I do think that Gbpjpy will continue to be bullish. What's good? What about gold, brother? I literally just looked at gold, if I'm correct, right? Yeah, we looked at gold. So I'm not going to go over this again, but if you got onto the session late, I apologize, my fault, brother. I'll try to go over gold again, maybe towards the end, but this was my analysis on it when I had went over it right before you jumped on. But I'll take a look at Euro USD in a second. But yeah, this is my idea with gold. There is no entry on this. Please, if you're looking at this and you're like, yo, I'm entering this, please do not. There's no trade on this as of yet. But that's my idea so far with gold. We just went over that too right before we looked at GJ. Let me go ahead to Euro USD. Same thing though. I figured this was going to be the same thing, yeah. So this daily, let me see the weekly really fast, yeah. So this is a little bit on the, how can I say, maybe reversal side, which is weird because I think that we might have sells with gold, because the reason being is anytime gold is selling, the US dollar should be doing good, and that's not the case. So looking at this on a higher time frame, being the weekly, we understand that we're very much in a bearish market overall, right? We can see from these, well, higher, but just to go from the impulse, we can see that this, from these highs to these lows, this market has been very, very bearish. Now, let me go into the monthly because I don't think there's really much structure. Yeah. If I look left to get right, maybe there. Actually, yeah, that's a pretty good point. So we can see that we respected a pretty significant resistance from literally like 2000. But I personally wouldn't even really use that. I really don't even like that structure myself. But we can see that after a strong impulsive move, being this bearish move, we're starting to see a pretty steep correction. This being the correction from these lows to these highs. Now, being on the daily time frame, again, I want to make sure that I'm understanding the overall market, what's actually happening. We know that the market, excuse me, is overall bearish, but in the current standpoint, right, the immediate, we're looking pretty bullish if we go from these lows to these highs. Now, what can be a deciding factor of some more bullish movements? Well, can you guys see something that I see? I'm zoomed in now because it's really important that you guys kind of get the idea, the patterns that I kind of see. Not a pattern, but it's just a very very relevant idea. I mean, anybody can see this. This is not difficult. Anytime you jump into a chart, you're going to see this on any time frame, but it's important that we see it on a higher time frame right now, because the higher the time frame, the stronger that confluence is going to be, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to mark it up right here. Now, I'm going to put it to the exact point. This would be the entire zone, actually, just so that way you guys get a picture, right? That would be the entire, well, that wouldn't be the entire zone. This would be the entire zone for me, at least, at the close of there. But I'm only putting this line to show you more of like an exact point, because this market could not break above these highs here up until it did with this candle. That is considered a breakout. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to make my zone a little bit smaller, because again, I don't like my zones being too crazy, but I'll make it a little bit smaller, and we can say that that is considered a breakout. Breakout. So why is that important? Why am I looking at something, or that specific candle, breaking out of that level of structure? Because anytime you have a level of structure, remember what I said before, you're never going to get a weak break of a structure. It's never just going to be something like, small and, just not relevant whatsoever. It's always going to be a candle that is showing you the volatility and true direction of where the market intends on going. So right now, again, since we have that breakout above a level of resistance, this is going to be considered a newfound level of support. So previous resistance, now newfound support. And I'm just writing this down so that way everybody understands exactly what I'm speaking about. So I'm going to put that right, I'll put it right above. So we have previous resistance, now newfound support. We're never, once you break out of a level of structure, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue all the way to the upside. I don't believe that's ever going to be the case with any market anytime you trade. But what I do think will end up happening is, how it always happens, is you're going to get after every impulse, a correction. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean this correction is going to be, strong or weak, but what does matter is we identify now the smaller time frame, being now the 4-hour. The reason why we're on the 4-hour right now is because once you go from the daily, you can't just go down to the 15-minute. That's not how that works. You have to make sure that the next time frame below it is also telling you kind of the same thing. Now, if I was to be, let me get rid of this really fast. Actually, I'll get rid of everything so that we can mark it up a little bit cleaner here on this time frame. Did that? Yeah, it did. Okay. So this market kind of already came back to retest this point, to be completely honest, right? This is now the reason why I'm getting a little bit more, I would say, cleaner with my chart, or I deleted everything rather, is because that markup was for that time frame, the daily. Each time frame is going to have a different type of idea, right? It's always going to give you, I would say, like its own individual markup. It's kind of like a fingerprint. It's never going to be the same from one time frame to another, but you always want to make sure you understand each move the time frames are telling you to make. So I can see again that this already broke to the upside, but it kind of came back and retested it, no? Right, we can see that. It came back and retested that initial zone. So if I can see that it retested that zone, we're also getting a bullish breakout pattern here. I'm going to draw this a little bit more specific. There we go. And then I'm going to put this right here. So even with this market, and this is what I was saying, I'm kind of mad because these markets have just been like stuck. But if I was a betting man, if I was somebody looking at this market and I'm trying to understand what the next move is, this looks like a bullish breakout pattern at a level of support, right? Because we're retesting this area. Again, my zones are never that big, but I'm trying to show you, looking left to show you where it connects and where that structure is. And we're already in a strong bullish market. So I personally think that, again, same thing here, ranging market. So with this ranging market, let me go ahead and actually make this a little bit bigger. So with this ranging market, I have to see something, right? There has to be some form of action. Actually, I didn't see this until now as we're speaking. It looks really bad, but I'm pretty sure if we scale down to a small time frame, we'll be able to see it a little bit better. But I need to see some form of action, right? Again, we're at price. So me seeing a level of price is going to tell me that there has to be something developing here that'll determine the next move. If you guys don't see it, hopefully you guys will now. Inverted head and shoulders pattern. Right? So I would think that if anything, we should be seeing Euro USD potentially push to the upside here. So that is my honest opinion here with Euro USD. We just have to allow the market to develop in that sense. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully it educates you guys a little bit. And I'll take a look at the chat real quick. Let me just delete these. But yeah, with the lack of volatility with these markets is we can't do much, right? These markets aren't really going to tell us too much if it's just going to be stuck here. I mean, I know it's only Tuesday, right? Let me just make sure. Oh, it's Wednesday. Oh my God. I'm over here losing track of days. My fault, everybody. It's been a busy week. It's been a busy week so far. But since it's Wednesday, definitely on a Wednesday, we should have already had volatility without a doubt. The market is not just going to stay stuck and stagnant like that all the time. So it's really, I wouldn't say weird, but it's also just very, it's not common for us to see this type of stagnation through the majority of all markets together. But yeah, hopefully that helps. I would think that if we break above the range here, if we break above this little ranging market, we should start seeing some potential buys. So let me see what you guys have here. USD/JPY next. Yes, I got you. Thank you so much, my brother. I always appreciate. Please update us tomorrow for CPI's news. I lost last Friday. I don't trade news, my mans. You don't. So this is the thing. Don't trade news. Like, I'm not updating you on news. I don't work for the bank. I'm not the government. I can't tell you what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I wish I could. If I did, trust me. I mean, if anybody knew what the news was going to be, everybody would be insanely and stupidly rich. So unfortunately, I can't tell you what the news is going to be. And you lost Friday for NFP, you mean? I was like, NFT? They selling NFTs over there in the banks? I always trade gold. That's what's up. Trade gold. All right. Scott Fields, great information. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, man. If you guys could do me one quick favor, though, if you are getting some education, if you're getting some value, if you're really liking these sessions, just so that way we can continue to build a community of actual traders. Like, I'm really trying to expand this to a point where we have thousands of people just calling out trades and sending out information and helping each other out and really building a community where everybody could benefit and profit from. And again, this is a free community. You can even join the Discord. The description is literally in the, or the link is in the description below. And I just want people to literally just be helping each other, throwing charts and asking questions, and having a lot of other people in the community just really help. You know, I mean, I want to build a serious trading community like this video. It's really important. It definitely helps with the aspect of growing this and really impacting people in a positive manner. I really just want to help and really educate people on learning how to at least stay as consistent and profitable as possible. As you see here, like I'm really educating you guys. If you've been following me for a while, I know a lot of you guys have. If anything, all of you have followed me for a while. You know exactly that this is exactly what I would teach my students. You know what I mean? I'm just doing this here now for you guys so that way we can expand and really give back to this Forex community, because I really do appreciate. Give me 1 second. Goddamn, my fault, everybody. I'm getting sick, so like I sound crazy right now, so my fault. But yeah, I really do want to grow this community in a manner where everybody's getting some value, some education, and really understanding what's needed to become profitable. So yeah, definitely like this video, share it with somebody, and let's continue. So somebody said USD/JPY. I'll go ahead and do that for you right now. Who was that? My man, Ifrin. Got you. All right, so let's take a look at USD/JPY. Now, before we go to USD/JPY, which is good that we say this, because, and look at Euro USD now, it's kind of like peaking above that level of structure. If we are going to look at USD/JPY, it's great to note that I would think that it will continue to be bearish, right? Because if we're looking at EU to be bullish, that means the US dollar is going to be losing value. So if that's, and we can actually go ahead and do this real quick. Currency strength. We can see that the US dollar is dropping, actually. It's losing value, and the Japanese yen here is actually gaining value. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we have the up arrow here, down arrow here. If anybody's wondering what this is simply just a currency strength meter. What that is telling me is what pairs are the strongest amongst each other. Right now we see the Aussie being the strongest out of them all, or actually the Aussie and the euro. And right now we have the Japanese yen kind of pushing above, with the US dollar decreasing in value. And since we can see that the US dollar lower than the euro, that Euro USD buy might actually go ahead and start looking really good for us. So if we go take a look at USD/JPY, we can go ahead and see that it's actually been a little bit bullish. Now, I just have this one level of structure here. I didn't really do too much on this. Again, when you're trading, when you're identifying something, so if I go into a higher time frame, let me get rid of everything. If I go into a higher, this actually looks like an inverted head and shoulders pattern here on the smaller time frame. But if you look at this on a high, like on the higher time frame, we can see this is very much bearish. Now, if I can see from these highs to these lows that this market is selling, the best thing for me to do is probably do the same. It's probably to sell. Now, I do think we already kind of got that picture, that idea, that confirmation that we should be selling. Why? Because if we look here, let me actually just do this. That is a high point, lower high, lower high. Not only is that a lower high, it came back to retest the level of structure it broke out of. And if I'm correct, let me go ahead and delete these two, or three rather. There is this idea. So we already have a strong sense of bearish movement. Now, I'm going to draw this out because we actually do have to take a look at this at both spectrums. It's really important. So I'm drawing this out as my level of structure. Now, my level of structure is here and not down here, because right now we are looking at a potential inverted head and shoulders pattern right here. Right? This being the left shoulder, that being the head, this being the potential right shoulder. Because obviously this market hasn't broken above yet. It hasn't really given us the idea of this being a true right shoulder as of yet. But would I have bought in from here? Yeah, absolutely, I would have. To be honest, I would have bought from here. I think I actually did, because that's what I had marked up previously. So me seeing that right shoulder, that could give us an idea that this market may want to be pushing up much higher. But again, since I'm looking at this, the yen, let me actually refresh. Oh, looks like the US dollar increased by 1. Japanese yen decreased by 1 as well. So I would think, I would still think that this is pretty much to the downside. It really depends though. Like if I see this trend line broken, then no, not so much. I really wouldn't see this to be bullish. But I personally do think that we'll be looking at more bearish ideas with USD/JPY, because I don't think that the dollar is going to be able to keep the volatility or the strength at all. To be honest, I think that what we're looking at is a very weak dollar. I'll take a look at the DXY right after this, so that way you guys can kind of get an idea, or we can get an idea, because I haven't checked the DXYs myself. But I do think that we'll be looking more along the lines of a bearish idea. So if this market come back up to this trend line and then push lower, I'd like that. Even if this trend line is broken on the smaller time frame, because this trend line is based off of the daily. So I would like to see a daily close of this maybe. But I would think that maybe even if we can come up to that trend line, or even back to this level of structure and see some form of rejection, I'd start looking for sells. But obviously if we break above these highs, I really wouldn't be looking for those sells anymore. So this is another one where we have to see some volatility. I mean, all the markets right now are kind of like stuck and stagnant. So it's more along the lines of really identifying what they give us next. But yeah, USD/JPY choppy to the most part, but I would still put my betting dollar on sells. But I want to see how this inverted head and shoulders pattern works out for us. Let me see. US30, what's good, Francis? All right, yeah, US30. I'm still so confused on why everybody likes trading these markets, but I'll give it to you guys. Oh, bullish. Wow, you know what's crazy? On one of the sessions, I literally had this marked up. I don't know where oh, that's right. I'm not on my right account. I'm on my completely different account. So yeah, bullish. You can see right there. That was I was literally saying, well, if we're going to look at anything, your best bet is to be buying from that zone. So yeah, US30 bullish. I mean, there's really not much else to go off of that. And if I go to a higher time frame, you can see that this was respected. Right, retesting a level of structure. The market has already given us a confirmation that it wants to remain bullish. I wouldn't even say that's your take profit. If you are looking, it's like that. Now, when I say take profit, it doesn't mean go ahead and go place this as a buy right now. You're probably going to lose that trade if you do, because there's no entry for it. But yeah, overall analysis is US30 bullish. It's really not hard, because all I'm doing is identifying the clues that the market is leaving behind. What is one of the markets, or what is one of the clues? The clue is like, and again, so we can take a look at this, and I'll make this a little bit easier for everybody to see really quick, is this. So if I draw this level of support down here, if we don't even look at that, right, we just look at what the market is giving us right here, what can we see? We can see that the market is obviously in a ranging market. And just like I said before, what do you do in a ranging market? You allow that market, excuse me, you let that market bounce from the high to the lows, from the lows to the highs, and you just keep selling from the highs, you keep buying from the lows, you take profit when it reaches these points up until a level is broken. You can see that that level here, this structure here, was broken to the upside, right? That resistance in this ranging market was broken. So what you are looking at is the test of that range. Very simple, nothing complicated. So we go here, you can see that that market came right back down to that level of structure. This is a very simple concept. If you don't know it, now you know. This is considered a break and retest. Nothing complicated. So a break and a retest. So you can see here, the market came back, or broke rather, came back, retested that zone. You can obviously use all of your tools. You can take your fib from that swing low to that swing high. You can see here, respected around that 50% retrace ratio. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to have a market perfectly respect the fib ratio or structure, but it will give you a reference. It will give you an idea. No, if anybody's wondering, do I pay attention to only one fib ratio? No, I like them all. All fib ratios should be used and taken into consideration because they're there for a reason. So for me, that 50%, that level of structure, very strong point of reference. Now, since we're starting to see a little bit more of a bullish movement, let me get rid of everything so I can draw this trend line accurately. It's not confirmed yet because there's only two touches, the base and the secondary. So there's no third touch. So this trend line is invalid as of yet, but it very much will be in the future. So if I go down to a smaller time frame, I mean, that's really it. The one thing I would say is, since it is impulsing, so we can see the market going from those lows to those highs, it's probably going to get some type of rejection from there before wanting to break above. So would I sell from this point? Absolutely not. I would allow the market to come here, take a break, potentially hit the trend line, come back higher, and break above. So my idea is US30 strong buys. Yep, no problemo. Always here to help. So yeah, any other markets, any other questions you guys have, feel free to let me know. How you find out about head and shoulders pattern? I cannot see that. What do you mean how I find out about it? It happens. Like the market, I don't just find out about it. The market creates them, right? What were we looking at that had a head and shoulders pattern? Was it GJ? I don't know if it was GJ. I forgot which one we're looking at. Was it gold? Yeah, there you go. So it just happens. It's not like I just find out about it. It's not like the market sends me a text and be like, yo. You know what I mean? But what I do think is, anytime you start to see that the market like this, right? If this wanted to be bullish, if this wanted to continue to push up higher, it would have respected this point here. It wouldn't necessarily just break below it. So anytime I see that, okay, well, that didn't respect that area, and it doesn't seem like it wants to, it's probably going to come back down a little bit lower. So I would identify that next structure point, which is usually, as you see here, the neckline. So if I go here, and I'm like, well, if it's going to come back and respect that point and use that as support, it's probably going to give us a correction, but I also know that that's a level of resistance. So if I'm like, okay, well, damn, now we're in a conundrum, right? Because it's not breaking up higher. It's not breaking above this point. Now it's definitely not breaking above this point. Then you start to see the market kind of create that right shoulder as it develops. So, yeah, I mean, it just initially happens. I am. Where can I learn them? Google, YouTube, literally just Google head and shoulders pattern. Like, this is one thing I want everybody to understand, and this is not to sound disrespectful, but this is just to help you guys. Half the time somebody asks me a question, I tell them to copy and paste it and put it on Google, and they have fucking 1,000 resources. Just look it up. You know what I mean? It's not to sound rude. I'm from the Bronx. I'm from New York City, so everything I sound says extremely rude and extremely disrespectful. By no means is that supposed to be the case. I'm sorry. But yeah, bro, just look it up. Where do you want to learn it? You have literally the world at your fingertips. On your phone, on your computer. Just type in, what is a head and shoulders pattern? And you're good. I'm going over with you here, so this is probably the best area for you to learn it. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to dig deep and understand what it is, Google. I just did USDJPY, bro. Oh, is that what you were telling me with the head and shoulders pattern? Yeah, I did USDJPY for you, brother. I'm usually lost in those patterns. No, man, you're good. Okay. Gbpjpy, I'm in as a buy and is going down. Am I still holding? What do you think? I don't know. You tell me. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your trades. I'm just here to educate and show you what is needed. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your own trade. Only reason being is because if you can't trust your own trade, you're never going to get over the psychological aspect of trading whatsoever. And that's not to sound rude, disrespectful, but that's the game that we play here. When we're trading, we're not just, just trading fucking fake money. Like, this is real shit. So the biggest aspect with trading is the psychology behind it. So you tell me, are you good with GBP/JPY buys? I don't know. This is the thing. Where'd you buy from? Why'd you buy? Like, you got to trust your own analysis before anything. So I can't tell you what to do with that, brother. Yeah, bro, join the Discord if you want as well. Oh, you're already there? Perfect. But yeah, if you guys want, the Discord is in the description below. I want to, again, just create a community of traders and really make sure that everybody is really progressing within their trading. But AUD CAD, can you analyze, please? Yes, I can. Not really much on this. I mean, the higher time frame, we can see that we're just at a level of strong structure. This is actually a double top. So we have a double top at that level of structure. Now that's based off the higher time frame being the daily, right? Because we see 1, 2, and we see these wicks. And again, these wicks equal rejection. Let me do this. Wicks equal rejection. So if I can see that this level of structure is obviously offering a level of rejection, this is going to be considered what? Resistance. So we just draw that out. We identify, again, the weakness of these candles is showing us that buyers are no longer welcome and sellers are probably coming in. So if I identify my next true level of structure, I'm going to draw it right there. Nothing complicated. So if I can see this really quick, I'm going to scale down to a smaller time frame and identify what's next. So I can see here that we can actually draw this initial trend line. And if that's broken in the future, then obviously we know exactly what the market intends on doing. If you don't understand why that trend line is there, we have a touch there or a base. We have our secondary. I can actually go ahead and connect that point there as well. So we have our trigger, which is the third touch and usually where you would like to enter, or the trigger is considered the fact that since there is a third touch, that trend line is in fact valid. You go ahead and you can add that one there as well. And the more times, I think a lot of people always think that the more times, a structure or a trend line is, retested, the weaker it gets. That's not the case. Anytime you have a trend line, I've seen a trend line get respected like 13 times on a higher time frame before. It was crazy. So doesn't make it weaker. This trend line is very much still valid, very strong. So I would think right now, if you're looking at AUD CAD, you're looking at potential sells right now. You're not going to buy at a high point. So I would think that right now, if you're looking at AUD CAD, you would look for a sell at least back down to that trend line. Why? I was hoping maybe you guys could possibly see it. And I'll do this. Right? That is also a level of structure. Because if I look left to get right, you can see here, resistance, broke above, support. When it broke below, it was still used as resistance. And you can see here that this can obviously be used as a level of support and alongside that potential trend line for a potential buy. So we'll do it like this. If trend line is respected, or trend lines, if trend line and structure is respected, we can look for buys. If not, we continue to hold sells. Now, obviously, when I say hold sells, there's no trade on this. I don't personally have a trade on this. But in the event, let's say this market does come back up, because it is a ranging market, it's not really giving us much. And let's say I do go ahead and sell from here in a perfect world, right? Again, obviously, we're not in a trade on this, but let's just say we did. My trade will look something like this. My stop will also go right above these highs over here. I'd go ahead and look for my take profits there. Let's say if we did place that trade and it does reach these lows, and I go and I see that this trend line and structure is broken, guess what? My take profit is now down here, so about 205 pips. If that's broken, fuck that. I'm holding it until as far as it wants to go. I don't care. But I do think that if anything, you're looking at AUD CAD right now as a sell. You're not buying this right now. You can even see on a very minimal aspect, we're starting to create lower highs. This is not an accurate trend line anymore. I thought it might have been. I thought maybe we can get a touch of here too. But you can already see that this is creating lower highs. So with that creating lower highs, at a level of resistance, especially if we go down back up to a higher time frame, anytime you have a strong impulsive move, like how you see here from these lows to these highs, and you start to see that, yes, there was a correction that was made, but the last previous high could not be broken, and you have that double top, that's a bearish indication and a potential reversal pattern. And I say potential because it's not fully developed yet as far as the double top is concerned. But I would think that AUD CAD right now, again, is a potential sell from where we currently are down to where it's highlighted. So if you're on buys on this, I would definitely suggest you don't buy this. Let me see real quick. Thanks for your time. I always love watching you mark up and explain. Yep, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody on this, but I definitely appreciate when you guys are like returning people who follow the legacy journey. It's been a journey for sure, but I appreciate every last one of you guys, seriously. And yeah, what other markets would you guys like for me to take a look at? I definitely got you guys. If there's any questions that you guys have, if you don't quite understand something, please let me know. If it's something that you could Google it. And I'm not saying that to sound disrespectful. I promise you. The reason why I say that is because you're going to retain the knowledge, remember the knowledge, and impact you more if you go ahead and you search it yourself. If, like, for instance, how many of you guys still know fucking anything from math class in school besides, like, I don't even know, like algebra? Like, that's hard. You know what I mean? If you went and you did the studying, you remember the things that you studied, even still to this day. I don't, because I never studied, unfortunately. But I always tell you guys, if you have a question and you want somebody to answer it yourself, because you're going to retain that knowledge so much more. Let me see what else you guys got. You give us good information, sir. Please make us like this event to learn more about your knowledge. Trade is not easy. Must got more skills, and your experience is more positive for us. I don't know what that means, but thank you. I'm not too sure how you were trying to word that, my brother, but I appreciate it. I definitely do. Hopefully you are getting a lot of knowledge. Hopefully you guys are liking this. It's very important, again, that you guys do. If you guys are liking this, if you guys are getting some information, go ahead and please like this video. It's really important. Again, I really want to grow this community. So let me go ahead and see what else you guys got. Thanks, bro. Already in sells. You are good. All right, perfect. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're in sells, you're good. You know, I mean, there's really not much else to go over with this. A lot of these markets right now, pretty stuck, pretty stagnant. I even wanted to trade binary with my students last night, but I couldn't do anything. Those markets were stuck. And same thing with today. I mean, we are getting a little bit of action. Let me go to gold really quick. It does seem as if we're getting some type of movement, but not the type of movement that I personally would really want to see. Let me go to USD CAD. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I told students to buy this. I would not buy this, obviously, because the entry's already late. Just to show you guys real quick, I have a student hitting me up. Let me see real quick. You can see here. Where is it? Was it up here? Sell NZD, buy USD CAD. There you go. So I put a signal out to buy USD CAD. I forgot to delete this analysis. I don't like having my entries up for you guys just because I like to do everything kind of like, off the cuff. I want to do everything live. But yeah, you can see here, yeah, didn't mean to do that, but buy USD CAD, that was a signal sent to students. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I think this is kind of like stuck and stagnant. I mean, this really isn't giving us too much. So I might actually go ahead and tell students to cut this. I don't even know how many pips we're up right now. Let me see. Oh. What? Why is this not working? I'm confused. I'm trying to measure how many pips we're in. All right, never mind. I'll just do it like this in old-fashioned way. Boop. Only about 20 pips. All right. Yeah, I might tell students to cut this only because it's just like stuck. I might not even trade for the rest of the week. Like if the markets continue to look like this, it's really not the best time. You know what I mean? There are going to be times where you have to tell yourself, am I going to risk my account? Am I going to risk profits? Am I going to risk my money to try to make trades when the market isn't really offering anything? Or are you going to sit back and allow the market to develop? And I might be one of those people to just sit on my hands and let these markets develop a little bit before I do anything next. But yeah, any other questions, any other markets you guys got for me, feel free to let me know. Definitely want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance. Let me go take a look at GU. Okay, that's kind of like what I figured. So I might be looking for buys around this range here on GU. It's not there yet, but I might. Obviously, this isn't the full markup. There's a lot more to it that I put previously. As you see here, I did have a lot more, but I would think that anytime I'm on a smaller time frame, I'm looking for entries. I'm not going to do too much. I want to make sure I'm doing at least I wouldn't say the bare minimum, but I want the bare minimum on my chart, right? Because what I mean by that is there's still a lot of people that I see where their markups look like this, right? No joke, and it's crazy when I see it. They'll have 1,000,001 lines, so they'll do shit like this. They're trying to identify every structure. They put 1,000,001 trend lines. They put stuff that doesn't matter. How many of you guys do this? Where you identify a trend line? Obviously, nothing that I'm putting on this chart is accurate right now. I'm just literally just doing the most. I've even seen people use fibs, like have their fibs from over here still there. Like, how many times have you seen somebody's chart look this crazy, or how many of you guys still do that? Right? You can make trading this difficult. You can have all of that on your chart, make it look extremely crazy, or you can identify what's relevant. I know right now that this market on a higher time frame was very much in a seller's market, but we are currently looking at this market as a bullish move. Higher highs, higher lows. Look left, get right. We can see that we are creating a very weird but small looking inverted head and shoulders pattern. Me being able to see something like this is going to tell me that this market is probably going to continue to be bullish. If I scale in a little bit deeper, I can see that this is a level of strong, significant structure. Do I need all that analysis from over here to dictate what's going to happen next over here? No. So what I am going to do is just identify what's relevant. Remove all drawings. Okay, I feel that this market is going to buy. Where is this market going to buy from? Here. Somebody said, can I look at NASDAQ? It's the same thing as US30. It's a buy. Strong buys. Literally. So look, I'm on NAS 100. So take a look at this. I'm actually going to do this so that way it looks almost identical. So this is NAS 100. Take a look at US30. Oh, I didn't have that marked up there. I'll mark it up now. Same thing. Buys. They're all buys. It retested a level of structure after retesting a strong level of structure down here. I know I'm on US30. Let's go to NAS 100. Probably the same thing. So you're in buys. You're looking for buys on NAS 100 all the way up until this point. Very simple. I mean, obviously, this is not the way, like, You're not just going to be like, okay, buys, and then just buy NAS 100. Obviously, there has to be, analysis for entries. But, yeah, overall, you're looking at buys for NAS 100. Nothing complicated. Nothing complicated. You can make trading as difficult as you want, or you can make it as easy as you want. With all these weird concepts and strategies and all these different... Don't. Price, action. Identify the price and the relevant actions that proceed within them. A level of support was respected down here. If support was respected, what do? You buy. Where do you buy to? The next level of significant structure, which is up here. That's it. Do not make trading complicated. And probably, 100% identical to SPX 500. They're all the same market. Literally. They're literally all the same market. Look at that. Buy kill zone. Can't make this up. Market was ranging, broke range to the upside, confirming buys. I literally can't even make this up. Buy kill zone was right there. And what happened? It bought. I completely forgot about going to SPX 500. So thank you for bringing me on to that. Just so that way you guys can see that when you have analysis, when you understand the overall market, I'm talking about where the market is supposed to be going. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Is it up? Is it down? If you can figure that out, you're 50% done with all of your trading. 50%, not fully, right? We're halfway there because we're only trying to identify this bitch. Like, is it buying or is it selling? There's only two ways this can go, right? Use common sense. And I'm not saying this to sound disrespectful. I'm saying this in the most respectful and I would say educative way. Because the one thing that I see a lot of people always mess up on is they always, okay, well, I'm going to buy and sell. No. Identify where you're going to sell from. Identify where you're going to buy from. That is it. If you're in a ranging market, you know you can buy and sell from the highs and the lows. If you're in a trending market, that means the market is going in a direction. It's either buying or selling. If you know it's, in this case, if you know it's buying, right, then you're not going to look for sells. You're already 50% done with your work. Now, the only thing left to do is to find out where to buy from. If I can see that, well, okay, if I look left to get right, this was a level of structure. I know my zone's not going to be this big. Again, I don't want my zone that big, but I'm cheating a little bit because you can see here that the market obviously has shown us the respect on every end. But if I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, well, this was broken to the upside, the range, showing that buyers are confirmed and buyers are now within this market. It's probably going to buy from that point again, right? That's a strong level of structure. Price, action. This is a level of price. The break to the upside is a form of action. What is another form of action? That retest. You're never going to get, and I repeat this in case anybody is confused or doesn't understand where your entries are supposed to be from. Your entries come from price. Not a time frame, not a strategy. It comes from price. If you identify these strong levels of significant support and resistance, and then you identify the confluences, i.e. the actions that proceed within them, you have trades and you will be profitable. So hopefully that makes sense for everybody. But yeah, let me go back to NAS 100 because I know I'm on SPX 500, but look at, there's barely a difference in the markup when I switch between them. So you're looking at buys for NAS 100. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, any other questions? Any other markets you guys want me to take a look at? I personally don't like a lot of what today is offering. This market is just kind of like stuck. I really don't like this weird ass consolidation we're getting, to be honest. GBP CAD. I'm just taking a look at some charts really quick. Oh shit, I forgot that we did I? Oh wow, I did, yeah. I'm over here like, well, did I tell them to sell GCAD? I definitely did. Okay. I forgot to delete that as well. I'm over here saying already 20 pips of profit. Okay. Well, never mind. I was like, did I really tell them to trade that? For some reason, I feel like TradingView does this a lot. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I actually had my markup here, and my markup is not here, but it kept my entry. It's really weird. That happens to me a lot. For some reason, TradingView like deletes my markups. It does. It just like messes my shit up all the time. Gbpjpy, thank you again for your time and knowledge. Absolutely, never problem, LA. I appreciate you for being on. Gbpjpy, nothing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, right now, we're not really getting too much. So, again, just marking it up. Yeah, I really wouldn't do too much with this until we start getting a strong idea. I mean, the only thing I could really see is we go into a higher time frame that this wouldn't even be considered a head and shoulders pattern. It hasn't came back down to reach the left shoulder price. So, no, wouldn't even look at that. TradingView, stay deleting my markups. For real? I'm not the only one. Yeah, it's weird, man. It really is. Like there was a time where I was like, yo, guys, I got all these markups ready for us, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, it looked like I just lied to my students. Yo, everything was deleted, like everything. I was like, oh man, I feel so bad. I had to go ahead and like remark it up for everybody and shit. Yeah, but it's really weird. And right now, for some reason, I'm not even on my actual account on TradingView. I'm like blocked out of it for some reason. I don't know if like I attempted the wrong password or some shit, but I like cleaned my whole computer out, deleted all passwords, like completely flushed it from viruses, and I think it just like messed everything up, and now for some reason I can't even get into my actual TradingView. So I'm over here stuck with this one. So they're definitely deleting my shit now because I'm just on like the bare minimum TradingView right now. But yeah, what else you guys got? Any other questions? Again, like in Gbpjpy, I wouldn't look at this, just to let you know. And I really wouldn't look at anything at this point because the markets are so stuck that it's hard to really determine what's going to initially happen next. If anything, I would allow this market to either break above or below this, or above this structure or below this trend line. And I'll actually just put the structure here as well because that's the lowest point, so we'll put that right there. So I would at least allow this market to really show us what's going to happen next after breaking above this structure or below this trend line. Besides that, there's really not much I would do. Because yeah, this is pretty much just stuck within that small ass range, and that goes again for the majority of all markets. Like again, we go to GJ. What can we do? Rangy market, maybe buy from these lows, sell from those highs. You know what I mean? That's probably about it. But as far as CAD JPY is concerned, yeah, not really doing too much. Grand Rising, just tuning in before work. What's good, G? What's good? Yeah. But any other questions? Anything else you guys got? Feel free to let me know. If not, we'll conclude for today, only because this market really, I mean, there's really not much. I wanted to see if there was going to be volatility and us potentially place trades together, but I really don't see too much of a tradable market, if you will. Even if there is some form of volatility, I know like GU selling, there's really not much, I would say, signals in the sense that the market is leaving behind, or that clues are being left behind rather from the market. So I personally don't see too much for today. I'm going to be very careful with the majority of all trading. Let me actually go take a look at Bitcoin really quick. So let me talk on Bitcoin really fast. You're going to hear it here first. I mean, I've been saying it. I've said it a million times that every single time that Bitcoin has made some type of move, I've kind of, I wouldn't say predicted it because I don't want to sound like I know everything. I really don't. But I mean, it's been very evident that the market here on Bitcoin and the majority of all cryptos we're gonna crash. I mean, you can see it. What's the pattern that I always explain to you guys, that you guys are trying to learn and see? What is this? That is a head and shoulders pattern. Bitcoin left a whole reversal pattern for us. Not only did it reverse, it respected the neckline. Break, retest. Crypto's market do the same thing. Price, action. After tested that neckline, it crashed. What are we looking at here? Oh, wow. Guess what? Head and shoulders pattern. Right? And what happened? It broke out of that neckline. Ooh. I'll make this the entire zone. So if I go from here to the lows of this wick down here, what's already happened? We can actually do it just like that. It's already retested that level of structure. Damn. And the biggest thing too is what nobody's taking account of. This is why I always tell people, don't listen to crypto gurus. That is a bearish engulfing candle. Everybody's like, oh shit, crypto's 17,000 now. It's creeping back up. Not looking left and understanding that the volume is still very much to the downside. So technical analysis, price, action is determining that cryptos are going to continue to crash. My honest opinion, and I'm saying this now just so that way in the future, if you guys ever this ever happens, you're like, yo, Jay called it. I'm looking at Bitcoin to actually reach at least to 2 points, being down here around that $10,000 handle, and even lower to about that $4,000 to $2,000 handle. If that is the case, I will obviously, well, you guys already see it now, But I'm obviously going to tell my students and possibly everybody here on the lives, depending if we get more followings. If we get like 100 people on these calls, then yeah, I'll definitely make sure that I do it for you guys. But at this point, and I would say this will happen by the summer, right? By the summer, because we're on the weekly time frame right now. If I can go ahead and see this happen by the summer, let's say by, I can't even give it a time. That would be stupid. You can never time these things. I can't predict the day or month or second, you know what I mean? But I would think that over time, as this market is still developing and looking bearish, if it reaches these points, this will be something that I'll be looking at as a investment range. Invest money. Invest monies. I'll put it like that. Invest monies. And if we do come back down to here, put the house down, including the kids. This is how serious my investment will be, including the kids, and I only got one, right? So this means that if we reach these points, I'll be looking to invest pretty heavily into not just Bitcoin, but all cryptocurrencies. But the reason why I'm speaking on Bitcoin is because obviously this is like the granddaddy of them all, right? This is all cryptos pretty much follow in correlation with what Bitcoin's doing. If Bitcoin's crashing, the majority of other ones are crashing as well. So from my honest opinion, I would think at least before we conclude for today's call, for us to speak about what I do think is going to happen with the cryptocurrency market. I believe that right now, again, that if we consider looking at Bitcoin, if we look at any other crypto, they're going to crash. Like if we go to, do I have Ethereum here? I do. Same thing here with Ethereum, right? I wouldn't say the same technical analysis, but I mean, the market showed us what it wanted to do, right? Head and shoulders pattern, broke below the neckline, couldn't even come back up to really retest that structure and continue to crash lower. I think with the majority of all cryptos, like I think Ethereum will come back down and check this out. Was this does it show that it was negative? Oh, it doesn't. I forgot which crypto was negative. There was a crypto, if I'm correct, that crashed into the negative during the crypto crash. And I thought it was Ethereum here for a second. But even for this, I would think that we'll crash back down to that $40. Where is it? 40? There it is. That $40 mark. Back down to this level of structure. If not to these lows, at least to here. Because this was the last real rally that the market had. So I would at least think that, no, well, not the last, obviously up here too, but I'm talking about like from where the initial rally started, where Ethereum actually became relevant. So at these 2 points are like another relevant point that I'd be looking to invest. US oil. Ooh, I wouldn't even really look at this. That's really about it. It already broke above that point. Yeah, so we already broke above this previous high, so the only thing I would really think about is sells from that point. Sells from this area. You can even just, I can't even draw a trend line. Higher time frame. Very much bearish. Yeah, you're selling this. Selling it to that point, at least. If broken, obviously, you go ahead and hold your profits. But yeah, very simple. Don't make trading complicated. You're looking for sells from that point. So sell range. Sell range. If it breaks above that point, comes here, even better. Stronger sell range. Stronger sell range. And that's it, really. Like, not complicated at all. Just identifying the clues that the market leaves behind. You're entering based off of what? Price. And that is it. I don't know why there's so many different concepts when it comes to trading. When this is in my opinion, one of the easiest. You're only basing your trades off of what the market leaves behind. So I would think that this would be a sell range. That'll be a stronger sell range. Why do I think sells? Use common sense. Go to the higher time frame. What's the overall direction? Continue in that direction when you can find the right entry point. That's it. So that's it. That's your idea for US oil. What else, if anything? And this is a bearish breakout pattern too. If you don't, let's do this too. Cheat sheet. Cheat sheet. Google. Oh my God, I can't spell. Forex breakouts patterns. That you could definitely use. And go to images. Make sure your filter's on because Google be giving you some crazy shit. But cheat sheet. Google Forex breakout patterns and why that's important. I can actually get rid of this right now because this is actually the pattern here. From this range, from this highs, with that trend line. This right here is your breakout pattern. You can even do some. Oh, can we actually add that? Let me see. I guess we could leave that for now. What is your trigger for entries after your analysis? My analysis. And what is your strategy? I've been saying it, price action. Everything you see what I'm doing here. This is my strategy. My trigger for entries is my analysis. You see where I literally say sell range, stronger sell range? That is my entry points. There, again, you could make trading extremely difficult. I can go ahead and, if I get to this point here, let's say if I'm at this sell range, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to go to the 15 minute, I got to wait for this, and then I got to go to the 5 minute, and then I got to wait for the, I got to go to the end of the rainbow, talk to the leprechaun, get the pot of gold. Once I get the pot of gold, I got to go down to the 1 minute, and I got to identify, I got to get all 7 Dragon Balls and summon Shenron. Like, no, you don't have to do all that. There's not, you do not have to go that deep into your analysis to identify an entry, right? You don't have to scale down to these small ass time frames and allow the market to tell you some false moves. Because I've seen people say, well, I'm on the 1 minute time frame and I'm at a level of resistance, but on the 1 minute, I got a bullish engulfing candle and it broke above my structure. It's no longer a sell. I'm going to buy. And next thing you know, 2 minutes later, that shit just crashes, right? You never want to overcomplicate your trading. Make it easy. Why make it? You can make it look like this, right? I'm going to delete everything. And let's make this extremely difficult. If I said this was my strategy, would you know how to use that? Because I don't. If I said this was my strategy, would you know how to use that? No, because I definitely don't. There's a lot of bullshit within the market. I'm just being really honest with you guys. You can make your trading as difficult as you want. You can use all these stupid tools, and I call them stupid because what's the point when everything, all these tools, Fib channel, all of these revolve around what? Price. Price action. That is my strategy, right? You make it very, very simple. What happens at specific points? If we don't, let's not look at this right here. We're not even caring about that. Let's say that didn't happen. And we look at this and we're like, okay, this is the right now market. I know this was a level of resistance. This is a price point. Why is that price important? Because after all this buying, for some reason, the market started to sell. I need to take note of that because if it happens again, I can have an entry from there. Did it happen again? It did. It created a double top. You can see right here, bang, bang. And that bearish candle close kind of spices things up. That is action at a level of price, right? I am not overcomplicating anything. My entries are based off of my analysis, not a time frame, not a smart money concept trade, whatever, not a market maker method, not an indicator. There's not one indicator on my chart. It's based off of price. Hopefully that helps. And I'm saying that as, you know, as stern as I can because it's very important that you guys don't fall into the trap that you need indicators. I don't even, what's TDI? I see a lot of people use that. You really think something like this is going to help you? No. I would not base my entries off of something like this. Do you think MACD is going to help you? Definitely not. in the sense of entries, maybe in your future analysis. But if you're relying on these type of things or systems, I mean, there are some great systems, I would assume, but you don't need some guru strategy. It's literally the market, what the market leaves behind, the clues. Those clues are found at price levels. Again, this was a level of support. Why wouldn't it be a level of support again? Could there be buys based off of that? Let's say the market comes back down here. You start to see the market giving you some stagnation, right? Consolidation basically is giving you this right here. If it gives you some type of rejection like this, can you buy from that point? Absolutely. Why not? It bought from there before. Why can't it buy from there again? Does that make sense? Use what the market leaves behind. Always. If not, you're going to be left behind. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's my strategy. Those are my triggers for entries, my analysis. No specific. I don't have anything specific. I don't wait for a specific candle pattern. I don't wait for any specific time in the day. I'm not waiting for anything like that. If it reaches my analysis, if it reaches my markup, I'm then going to allow the market to develop a little bit, right? Again, I don't wait for anything specific, but I would, let's say, wait for maybe some candle patterns. Or if there was more confluence there, right? Maybe one of my triggers are that I have to maybe wait for it to reach that trend line. So it's all based around that price action. Where's the market going to make that move from? And it has to be based off of my analysis. So hopefully that does help a little bit. And that's also my markup for you on US oil. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, that is my idea with US oil. But yeah, hopefully you guys got that. Hopefully no one is confused. I'm really hoping that you guys are kind of understanding a little bit more the more that we do these calls and these sessions. Again, I'm gonna be trying to do these every day. I'll be getting busy for some reason in the mornings too. It's really weird. For some reason I'm like, oh yeah, I'm usually free in the morning. Definitely not anymore. I'm now super busy right before I'm even trying to jump onto these calls with you guys. And then I still have to be trading binary with my students as well. So I'm gonna have to switch over to the evening sessions for binary so that way everybody can get into those, into sessions at least. And then I do think the trading binary at night actually might be a little bit more profitable in the sense, since the market is, I wouldn't say, it's not consolidated in a bad way, but it's a little bit easier to trade in a sense because it's not just spiking you out of your entries immediately. So I might go ahead and start doing that at night. Yes, I did do US30. It does make sense. Thanks, bro. Yep, absolutely, no problem, man. So yeah, we'll conclude with that. I definitely got to make sure that I'm going over some charts and answering my students. I got one of my students hit me up here. I have a few more on Facebook that I just saw hit me up as well. So I got to make sure I answer to them as well. I'll go into the Discord for you guys, make sure that I'm answering any and all questions that you guys have, whether it's in the VIP chat or whether it's in the legacy chat. This side right here, the legacy chat, is for you guys. Anybody could join this. You guys can drop charts. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. And this is for literally every single person. If you're not a VIP member within the legacy group, that's absolutely fine. You can still get a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. You can see here, this analysis section is also for you guys. As you see here, I did put out a trade for you guys earlier this week, being NZD USD, very much in profits for you guys. So hopefully you guys were able to actually benefit off of that trade and get some profits off of that as well. So if you're not a part of the Discord, this is absolutely free for you guys. You can go ahead and use the link in the description below, so that way you guys are a part of that as well. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit myself up at any point within the Discord. If you have me on Facebook, you can hit me up on Facebook as well. Again, I just really want to make sure that I'm impacting everyone in a positive manner when it comes to this trading community. And I just want to build something based off of transparency, value, and actual education. I'm not just going to sit here on the 15-minute time frame and just talk nonsense to you guys for absolutely no reason. I want to really make sure that I'm educating, really helping you guys, and really I want to see people become consistent with these calls. Obviously, I'm doing the automated thing for my students. I got the auto trader for them. I'm sending them signals. I don't do the education with them as much, or anymore rather, to be completely honest, is because there's so much free information that it feels wrong to charge people for something that they can literally what we're doing now, come on YouTube and get for free. If you don't believe me, go ahead and look up any Forex education. There's a ton, like I don't get paid for saying this. They're competition in a sense, but they're also very good at what they do, and I think that a lot of you guys can get value. So I know Swaggy, I think his name is Gbpjpy. That dude's really good. I don't know him, so don't think like I'm putting game on to like my homies. Don't know the dude, but very good information. I forgot who else. Oh, Transparent, if I'm correct. Transparent FX, another really good source. Like, you can go ahead and Google these guys, or Google them. Yeah, you can Google them, but YouTube them, and you'll see a lot of information from them. So it just didn't feel right for me to be charging people on education when you could literally just YouTube and Google so much for it. So I really want to make sure that I use the resource, the same thing that everybody else is using to get free information. I want to make sure that I can at least lead the way for that, and then obviously have the automated side for my students and really help them become profitable as I educate through this platform, because the education is great, but I know that some of you guys still need the profit. So I want to make sure that I could provide that as well. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you guys got some knowledge from these sessions, and I'm just drawing that last trend line here for you, just in case anybody did see that. But hopefully you guys got some information. Hopefully you guys did like the initial session. If you guys can, by all means, feel free. It definitely helps. I want this channel to grow. As you can see here, I'm laying out as much information and knowledge and all of my time for you guys to really help you as much as possible. Please like this video, share it with somebody. Again, I really want to make sure that I'm impacting this community in a positive manner. So if you guys can, that would be absolutely great. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sir, for helping us, your knowledge. Yep, absolutely, never a problem, brother. I appreciate you. With that being said, we'll conclude for today. I will be on first thing tomorrow morning with you guys as well. If you guys have any questions, again, feel free to hit me up. Legacy students, by all means, if you have any questions, always hit me up. I will be in the Discord with you guys and answering your messages back. So if I haven't answered back, I do apologize. I'll make sure that I get back to you guys right now. We will be trading binary later on tonight with the students. So if you guys are wanting to do that, let me know in the Discord, and I'll make sure that I send the Zoom link out for you guys as well. So, yep, never problem, Aaron. I love that name, by the way. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day.